And welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Friday First. This is that series where we talk about those brand new #1 issues, new character debuts, new story arcs, and the like. And this is for books that are coming out on January 14th, 2026, the first episode of the new year of 2026. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. And yeah, I hope you're as excited as I am to talk about some new comics. So this week we have our top 10 firsts for January 14th. And there's some cool books in here. Not a whole lot of first issues or new story arcs and that kind of thing, but a few interesting ones. So we'll talk about all of them in this episode. Obviously, I don't cover every single first issue that comes out anymore. If you're joining for the first time in a while or the first time ever, I used to do a version of this show where I talked about like almost every single first issue that was coming out. I changed it to a top list format a few episodes ago. And yeah, so now it's going to change based on how many books are actually coming out in a given week. But this week, we actually have a top 10. So without further ado, we do have a couple of honorable mentions. So we're going to jump right into those. All right, our first honorable mention is the Avengers issue number 34. And the reason this one is on the honorable mention list is because it's technically not a first. It's technically not even a start of a story arc or anything like that. At least as far as I know, it's kind of an ending or kind of the beginning of the end of a story arc that's been running for a long time in Avengers. But it is a milestone issue. It's the 800th official issue of Avengers according to Marvel math. And so, yeah, it's a legacy 800. And so that makes it a big issue. So I wanted to make you aware of that. If this wasn't on your radar, if you're not currently reading Avengers, but you like to collect milestone issues, key issues, and that kind of thing, this might be one to pick up. There's also a backup story by Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley, who obviously famous for their Ultimate Spider-Man run, among many other things throughout the history of Marvel. This is a 48-page book for $7.99, so just look out for that one if you are, if you're picking this one up, if you want that milestone issue. And our only other honorable mention this week also comes from Marvel. This is Dimensional Rivals issue number 1. And the reason I wanted to point this one out, yes, it is a first issue. It didn't make my top 10 list, but it is teaming up 3 writers and 3 artists. So you've got Ivan Coelho, who is writing and illustrating. You also have the team up of Peach Momoko, as evidenced by the book itself, and Stan Sakai. So Peach Momoko has become famous for this particular art style, does a lot of variant covers, and has done full mini-series and things like that, as well as Ultimate Universe work. And Stan Sakai is most famous for creating Usagi Yojimbo, who is a popular character that's crossed over with TMNT, and various characters had a massive long run. So seeing those 2 creators team up, and also with Ivan as well, who's a fantastic illustrator, and I'm not too familiar with his writing, but yeah, so 3 fantastic artists teaming up on this book. If this description sounds like something up your alley, you might want to check out Dimensional Rivals from Marvel. But with that, let's get into the official top 10. Coming in at number 10, we have Gargoyles Darkwing Duck issue 1. This is from Dynamite Entertainment, and I don't currently read either of these series, but the team up of these 2 characters is iconic, especially if you grew up in the era where these were on your weekly Disney afternoon, sometimes paired alongside like DuckTales and Rescue Rangers and Tailspin, and also Batman the Animated Series. So it was this whole block of programming that was really popular back in the day, and these were 2 of the more popular series. So seeing these 2 properties crossover like this is pretty cool. The only thing that would be cooler is if you threw Batman the Animated Series in there as well. But yeah, so it's pretty pretty sweet to see these two characters team up. I don't know if I'm getting this, but it's definitely something that's on my radar, something I'm paying attention to. And if people tell me that it's really good, I might pick it up. So if you pick this up and you read this, definitely let me know if it's any good. As far as the writer, it's Greg Weisman, who created Gargoyles, I believe, and Tad Stones as well, with art by Ciro Kangilasi. I totally butchered that. I know. I apologize for that. But this is a 32-page book for $4.99 with a cardstock cover. I'll just read a little bit of this. It says Worlds Collide as two of the most beloved entries in the legendary Disney afternoon lineup of animated shows meet for the first time in a brand new title crafted by both series' original authors. So there you go. So that's really cool that it's by both series' original creators there. And that's so we've got the first ever team up of these characters, which I wasn't sure if it was, but I thought maybe. So that's definitely key issue worthy. You might, if you're a big fan of the Disney properties, if you're a big fan of either one of these characters, the Gargoyles or Darkwing Duck and his supporting cast, you might want to check this out as well. It says, after contacting wary Morgana Macabre through her magic mirror, the scheming Demona, which is from Gargoyles, whisks the uncooperative sorceress out of St. Canard, which is the city that Darkwing Duck takes place in, and into her New York City lair, which is where Gargoyles takes place, where she proceeds to grill Morgana for the location of a certain mystical tomb with tome with enough eldritch energy to allow Demona to finally conquer the world. So it's Demona kind of bringing in Morgana Macabre that brings Darkwing Duck into this investigation as well. So that's going to be really cool to see those two team up. I might actually pick this one up after reading that description, because I am familiar with all of these characters. I watched these religiously back in the day. So I'm really excited about this. So, but, because I'm not reading either of the series, that's why it comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Where Does the Rainbow End? Issue number 1. This is from Mad Cave Studios, 32 pages for $4.99. This is written by Francesca Perillo with art by Stefano Cartacelli. And I don't know a whole lot about this, so I'll just read the description here. It says, Gilda has been abandoned by her parents, but fortunately she has been discovered in this robot dump and has been raised by these robots that discovered her. She was lucky enough to be found in the rainbow sector by robots that cared for her. However, she's been shielded from the outside world, other humans, and this dangerous section of the robot world called the Dark Cage, where most of the robots live. And word spread about her ability to fix robots, and one vicious robot from the Dark Cage wants her to repair all of the violent robots that live there, and nothing's going to get in his way. So this is really interesting because it's kind of taking like the Jungle Book story, where Mowgli was raised by animals and was part of the jungle, or Tarzan, that kind of story, but putting it in a little bit of a sci-fi bin, because you got this robot basically graveyard kind of thing, where all these robots live, and she knows no other humans. She's been raised by these robots, and she knows how to fix them and treat them and everything. And then you've got this cartoony art style, if the cover is any indication of the interiors, and it is the same artist. So so it's really interesting contrasts and genre mashups here. So, and Mad Cave does some really interesting creative stuff. So that's why this one comes in at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Luna Snow World Tour, issue number 1. This is from Marvel Comics, and this is a 32-page book for $4.99. This is written by Greg Pak, which is really cool, and the art is by Takeshi Miyazawa. Fantastic artist, phenomenal writer, and taking on this K-pop star who is at her lowest point, apparently, after all the One World Under Doom stuff. It's left Luna Snow at her lowest point, so she decides to hit the road, and this new K-pop star comes onto the scene with this really catchy music that's so catchy it's criminal. which brings Luna into it, I guess, to kind of investigate and see what's going on. And she says, can she win their hearts and save the day? Which beloved Marvel heroes will join her along the way? So we're going to see some guest stars possibly pop up in this book as well. Let me see if it shows any characters. We do have Emperor Doom and Luna Snow are the only characters we know that are going to be in the book, which is probably going to be kind of a flashback kind of thing to show, what brought her to this point. I don't read a whole lot of Luna Snow stuff. She is a really interesting character, but under the control of or under the pen of Greg Pak, that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So I might check out this first issue, and that makes it really interesting to me. So also it ties into everything that's been going on in the Marvel universe of late. So that's really cool too. So that's why Luna Snow World Tour comes on the list at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is a series that I haven't read for a long time. This is from Boom Studios. This is Alice Forever After, issue number 1. This is the next chapter in this saga of Dan Panosian's Alice series. Obviously, writer and artist Dan Panosian, also on art is Giorgio Spalletta. This is a 32-page book for $4.99. And this says Alice faces her most perilous adversary yet, her own past. So there have been several other or previous miniseries in this world. I read a couple of issues of the very first one, but I never went back to it. I kind of fell off of it and never went back to it. But I've heard really good things about this series, and I don't know if this is the wrap up or if this is just the next chapter or what the case may be. If you have been reading this, let me know in the comments below. But it says Wonderland is a distant memory, but beyond the looking glass, things are far from what they once were. As the realm cracks and crumbles into decay, a resentful Cheshire cat seeks out the one thing that can fix what's broken. But this time, it isn't Alice he's set his sights on. With time running out, Alice will have to confront her past adventures before they claim her beloved daughter. So very interesting. As a big fan of Alice in Wonderland, I'm very curious about this. I would love to know from anybody in the comments that has kept up with this series. Do I need to have read the previous stuff to jump into this one? Is this a good jumping on point? Maybe I should cover it on my new series that is coming soon, Jumping On Point. Keep an eye out for that. I'm hoping to start that really soon, and yeah, that's going to be a fun one. But yeah, my once again, my curiosity is piqued about this one. The concept sounds interesting. Anytime you're dealing with characters and legacy characters and that kind of thing from popular IPs, that it's kind of interesting. So yeah, I might check this one out, and that's why this one comes in at number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Tomb Raider Sacred Artifacts, issue number 1. This is from Dark Horse Comics, 32 pages for $4.99, written by Casey Gilly with art by Antonio DiCaprio. Now, I'm not too familiar with Casey Gilly's work. According to League of Comic Geeks, she's written My Little Pony, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Return to Sleepy Hollow, and yeah, that's all it lists here. Not saying that that's all that she has created. Let me go into. Actually, there's a lot more that she has done. She's done some Dungeons and Dragons, something called Newborn, The Return of Chilling Adventures in Sorcery, Star Wars Adventures, The Twilight Zone. So a lot of IP stuff. So that kind of makes sense that she would be on another IP. So Tomb Raider is a beloved character. I've actually really enjoyed several of the Tomb Raider miniseries that Dark Horse has put out. I love the video game franchise. I love the movies, the animated series, the everything Tomb Raider I've been a fan of. And so I always check out the new miniseries when they come out. So I'm excited about this one as well. This is this says it's a perfect jumping on point for the uninitiated. So if you've never checked out a Tomb Raider series, this might be the one to dive into. It says Laura Croft, her life is anything but boring. When Croft Manor goes up in flames, it forces Laura to take stock of her life and figure out what was important to her, but a confrontation with a mysterious foe who has gotten their hands on a dangerous and familiar artifact, some clarity provides some clarity as it launches Lara on a cross-continental journey, doing what she does best, raiding tombs and questing for legendary relics. So this sounds like it's going back to the basics for Lara Croft. And yeah, I'm really excited about this one, and I cannot wait to check it out. Just not as familiar with the writer, so that's why this one comes at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Bloodland, issue number 1. This is from Ignition Press, and this is a 32-page book for $4.99, written by B. Clay Moore, with art and colors by Mac Chater. So it's been a while since I've seen B. Clay Moore's name pop up, and I believe he's done a lot of stuff for Image in the past and various other publishers, I believe. Let me actually just look him up, see what he's done recently, or see what the highlights are here. Done some Vampire Diaries. Let's see, Ben 10, Battle Hymn, Batman the Brave and the Bold, Bloodshot. So all across the board, G.I. Joe, Knight Rider, Love and Tights, all kinds of stuff in B. Claymore's credits. So I know he's a really competent writer. Not familiar with the artist, but the cover kind of pulled me in. Ignition Press has been doing some fantastic stuff. I haven't read a lot of their stuff, but everything that I have either read or flipped through or talked about with other fans like Mike and Kat from Comic Book Weekly have been reading a couple of their series, and they really enjoy them. It seems like Ignition Press just really is passionate about what they're doing, and they're putting out really good stuff. So anytime they put out a new title, I'm interested. In this one, the United States is collapsing and there are vampires everywhere. This president, Andrew Cross, has this long, unconstitutional, extended term, and he's seized and shielded by executive orders, martial law, and a stacked Supreme Court. So seems like it's kind of diving into a little bit of the current affairs and kind of fictionalizing what could happen in terms of that. Also mixing it with a little sci-fi horror with the vampires and everything. It says support is splintering. Cross forges an alliance with these European vampires, and as the influence kind of expands, their administration's pursuit of power and blood purity transforms the landscape into a battleground between emboldened loyalists, aspiring demagogues, and colorful factions of dissenters. In the middle of this, you have this Army veteran, Heather Brooks, who is on a warpath to avenge her newborn son who's been sacrificed to the state. Oh my goodness. And a retired pro quarterback, football quarterback, son Cassidy, and they start to kind of pick up a resistance. So you basically got Star Wars in the US with vampires, and you've got these two rebels trying to create this resistance to fight this crazy power of this president with this vampire alliance. That's really cool. This is a 12-issue political horror series called Bloodland from Ignition Press. This is definitely one to check out, and that's why this one comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is Space Ghost issue number 7. This is from Dynamite Comics. 32 pages for $4.99 cardstock cover. This is a favorite series of mine. It's a really, really fantastic series. This is the second volume. There were 10 previous issues, and they were all fantastic as well. Every single issue of this run has been great. Also, same creative team. David Pepos is the writer. Jonathan Lau is the artist. And in this one, we have a brand new character being introduced in this 2-part story arc. And the character is called Antimatter Man. So if you are into picking up first appearances and that kind of thing, this might be one to check out. It says Antimatter Man. I'm sorry. In this first chapter of this 2-part story, the Ghost Planet crew, which is Space Ghost and Jason, Jan, and Bleep, or not Bleep, I can't remember the monkey's name. I'm getting it mixed up with another character. Sorry about that. But anyway, the four of them, they gather to witness the beginning of a bold new era in science, only to look on it in horror when the experiment goes terribly wrong, transforming a close friend into a deadly new foe, which I'm assuming is the Antimatter Man. So yeah, really cool concept for this story arc. Again, it's been phenomenal up to this point. I can't imagine this being bad. The cover art alone is enough to pick this one up. Just beautiful book and so well crafted. So I can't say enough good things about this book, but that's why Space Ghost comes in at number 4. All right, with our top 3 coming in at number 3, we have Dungeons of Doom issue number 1. This is obviously from Marvel Comics, 40 pages for $5.99. This is written by Benjamin Percy and Philip Kennedy Johnson. If that's not enough to get you to pick it up, I don't know what is. Art is by Carlos Magno, Robert Gill, and Justin Mason. So, for anybody that was a fan of the Red Hulk series that tied into One World Under Doom, and it's kind of sad that that's not continuing, this is the continuation of that story, or at least some of it. And the only reason I say that is because the only character mentioned on the League of Comic Geeks that is featured in this book is Thunderbolt Ross / the Red Hulk. So I'm assuming that it's continuing this. It says, in the aftermath of One World Under Doom, with Doom's castle empty and masterless, the superpowers of the world race to claim and control the untold power and technology that await inside. But when an explosion sends them all plummeting into a dungeon labyrinth that none of them knew was there, what began as an arms race begins and becomes a terrifying game of survival. Who, if any, will survive, and what horrors lie within Dungeons of Doom? So if you don't know, in Will of Doom, which recently came out, I believe it was in that series, Thunderbolt Ross was kind of asked to help out because he knows the terrain, the territory. So I'm assuming that this is following up right from that, and this is what they needed his help for, because he is very familiar with the Dungeons of Doom. So he's going to be going into this to kind of guide them out, I'm assuming. But anyway, again, if you are a fan of that series, which was also written by Benjamin Percy, this is written by Benjamin Percy, you definitely want to pick this one up as well. And that's why it comes in at number 3. All right, coming in at number 2 is Geiger, issue number 20. This is from Ghost Machine via Image Comics. This is written by Jeff Johns with art by Gary Frank. And this is just another fantastic series. If you've not checked this one out, this is also the second volume of this. The previous volume was not under Ghost Machine, but it was still through Image Comics. But this second volume, which I've read from start to present, is just another great series. Ghost Machine is another imprint that is doing some fantastic work, and this is one of their better books. Just every issue is full of action and drama and emotion and character work and character growth and just fantastic storytelling in this book. And this one is following that explosive finale of Redcoat the Northerner. So now this mysterious Union soldier finds himself face to face with Geiger, and you don't know if he's there to help or is he about to change everything. And the last line is what makes it land on this list, because obviously it's not a first issue, but it says the next era of Geiger begins here. So maybe it's a jumping on point. Either way, it's a new chapter in the Geiger story, and it's beginning with this issue. So if you're a fan of this one, you definitely want to check this out. And that's why this one comes in at number 2. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Knull, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics, 32 pages for $4.99. This is written by Al Ewing and Tom Waltz with art by Justin Ramirez. And this is the return of the King in Black, Knull. He is weakened from his last death. He is trapped by the enemy he never expected. The God of the Void waits in a cage once again. It says his captors think Knull has nothing to fight back with, but in Knull's hands, it says nothing is a weapon, but I think it meant to say everything is a weapon. And there's a greater weapon out there waiting for the King in Black to take it and take his revenge. So, once again, I don't know for sure, but I believe that this is the lead up to the Queen in Black, because Hela is in this book. The only two characters League of Comic Geeks shows for sure that are in this series, in this issue, are Knull and Hela. So I'm assuming this is the lead up to lead us to Queen in Black, which is coming later in the year, which is featuring obviously Hela as the Queen in Black. So if you are a fan of the original Knull story by Donny Cates and everything that's come out of that, and you're looking forward to everything this year that is involving Knull and the Queen of Black and all that stuff, you need to start here. So you can kind of follow along from this point. This is the starting point, I feel, for that. And for that reason, Knull makes number one on this week's top list. And there you have it. That is the top 10 first for this week on Friday 1st. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content I mentioned earlier in the show. I have a new series that I'm about to start soon, and you don't want to miss that either. It's fun. You can also, of course, check me out across social media at Only Good Comics. I'm pretty active on TikTok, especially. So check that out. Or you can type in onlygoodcomics.com to take you right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep reading those comics, and I'll see you soon. Bye.